the highlights. Tinubu seeks review of FCT budgets to cover critical projects in Nigeria's capital.
Nnamdi Kanu says any court trying him is committing terrorism.
Oitsma commences recruitment exercise for vacant positions.
South Africa's top court stops Zuma from contesting again.
Now the details. President Bola Tinubu has officially written to the National Assembly requesting a review of the Federal Capital Territory budget. According to Tinubu, the initial budget overlooked several critical projects essential for the development and functionality of the FCT. In his communication to the legislative body, President Tinubu stressed the urgency of addressing the omissions to ensure that the capital city's infrastructure and public services meet the growing needs of its residents. The President's letter outlines the necessity for additional funding to cover these critical projects that were inadvertently left out of the initial budget.
Country. Fagbemi stated this today in Abuja in his address at a public hearing on a bill for an act to prescribe the salaries and allowances and fringe benefits of judicial office holders in Nigeria in Related Matters Bill 2024, organized by the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters. The Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN, noted that the upward review of judges and other judicial officers' salaries has become imperative given the inflationary trends being experienced in the country in the past few years. He added that the bill will birth an appropriate and commensurate remuneration that will ensure judicial independence and integrity.
The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has claimed that he cannot be tried in any Nigerian court, citing the country's constitutional and international laws. He said any court trying him is committing terrorism. Following a federal high court ruling in Abuja that dismissed his applications for bail and transfer from Department of State Services custody, today Kanu addressed journalists at the court premises, asserting that the Terrorism Prohibition and Prevention Act prohibits his trial in Nigeria. According to Kanu, the law states that he cannot be tried in any Nigerian courts. He quoted Section 2, Subsection 3F of the Terrorism Prevention and Prohibition Act, which he claims labels anyone attempting to try him as a terrorist. Kanu emphasized that any court proceeding with his trial would be committing an act of terrorism, according to the law.
The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has arrested 9 individuals involved in oil theft at an illegal refinery located in a forested area on the boundary between rivers in Abia State. This was disclosed by the NSCDC Public Relations Officer Babawale Afolabi in a statement issued today in Abuja. He added that the operation followed NSCDC discovery of another illegal refining site on Saturday with over 100,000 liters of stolen crude oil in Adobe Settlement, Eche, local government area, Rivers State. According to Afolabi, the apprehended suspects, aged between 20 and 53, were allegedly caught in the act of refining stolen crude oil extracted from a vandalized oil wellhead. He added that the site also housed a local refinery under construction, designed to produce 60,000 liters of crude oil at a time. The suspects include Ogenewede, 32, Moses James, 25, Chidi Nwosu, 53, Samuel John, 24, Emmanuel Paul, 20, Ogenevo Nwebi, 43, Martina Winepicha, 38, Nwabuchi Nwogu, 41, and David Okere, 20. Exhibits recovered 6,500 power generating sets, 2 yellow color pumping machines, metal and plastic buckets, cutlasses, saw, mats, welding machine, galvanized metal pipes, different heavy-duty hoses, and automotive gas oil illegally processed in cooking ovens. It stated that the interrogation of the suspects was ongoing and they will be charged in court upon completion, and they will be charged to court upon completion of the investigation.
The organized labor has agreed to attend the negotiation meeting of the tripartite committee on the minimum wage slated for Tuesday. The Vice President of the Trade Union Congress TUC, Mr. Etim Okon, confirmed this in an interview with newsmen in Abuja. Also, Mr. Adewale Smart Oyerinde, Director General of Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, said he wished that the Tuesday meeting of the tripartite committee would be successful. Recall that the Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) and the TUC worked out on the negotiation meeting as the federal government proposed 48,000 naira as new minimum wage for workers.
Increases in the prices of cement by cement manufacturers has issued a stern warning to the Cement Manufacturers Association of Nigeria over the refusal to appear before the committee. This is also as the committee also said that the association should desist from using frivolous court injunction to interfere or halt the ongoing investigation by the House on the arbitrary increase in the price of cement in the country. The chairman of the Joint Committee, Honorable Gaza Gwefi, gave the warning to the association and other key stakeholders during the opening remarks at the investigative hearing today at the National Assembly. According to Gaza, the persistent absence of the cement manufacturers, who the committee had summoned twice and have refused to comply, is an affront to the powers of the National Assembly as enshrined in the Section 88 of the 1999 Constitution and Sections 4 and 7 of the Legislative House's Powers and Privileges Act. At the investigative hearing, the Joint Committee had invited and grilled the Council for the Regulation of Engineering in Nigeria, COREN, the Nigeria Building and Road Research Institute, NIBRID, and the Federal Competition and Consumers Protection Council, FCCPC, on the arbitrary increase in cement price.
The federal government has been advised to settle outstanding pension debts and borrow from the pension funds only if they can prove that corruption will not be encouraged. Experts stated this while speaking on pension funds and federal government's infrastructure funding on the BCOS TV Current Affairs Breakfast Program, AM 120. Our reporter, Olamide Owulabi, who monitored the program, has the details.
While speaking on pension funds and the federal government's infrastructure funding on AM 120 program, a development expert, Dr. Bimpe Aderomu, and Secretary, Nigerian Union of Pensioners, Oyo State Chapter, Comrade Segun Abaton, expressed that the government cannot be trusted with borrowing from pension funds. Dr. Bimpe Aderomu expressed worry that the government might not refund the money borrowed from the pension funds at the appropriate time due to corruption.
I think the government should look at it holistically that, okay, we have infrastructural deficit. Buhari came, he was talking about infrastructural deficit. Jonathan came, he was talking about the same thing. Let us assume they had addressed part of it. How significant? That's not a topic for discussion. And this one too, they want to address. Which one do they want to address? I think we should begin to go to specificity if we mean business in Nigeria. Are you addressing roads? And we know in the next 20, 30 years, the issue of those roads are not going to be repeated as it drags a lot of fund. Again, it will just be maintenance. Are you addressing rail? And we believe that, okay, Nigeria is going to be well connected by rail, and we resolve that. Is it power? The only thing the government could do is to be specific, to scale it down, and then to let Nigerians see step monitoring and evaluation, and let them own that project and see how the money is being spent, and reassured from time to time where they could get these funds as at when due for pensioners.
Comrade Segun Abaton explained that pension funds are used by governments in other countries to improve infrastructure and make life easier for pensioners, but it's a different situation in Nigeria.
In Nigeria, the purpose of having contributory pension scheme is not altruistic. You cannot tell an adult how he's going to spend his money. Can I tell you how you are going to spend your money? Now they are telling people that, look, because you don't know how to spend your money when you retire, let me manage your money for you. The money that you take from me, you trade with it. You don't give me the details of what you have done with my money. You don't give me benefits on investment while using my money. You spent my money, you made profit. What is my take on the profit? If we have a responsible government, that we use that money, instead that we use that money and then make more money and put in the account of the pensioners, it is allowed. But in this country, when they take such money, that money will not go back there.
The duo, however, stressed the need to enhance social infrastructure to make life better for the pensioners who are the contributors. Olamide Owolabi, BCOS News.
This broadcast of Newscope comes to you from the Broadcasting Corporation of Oyo State, Ibadan. In line with the approval of the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, the State Road Transport Management Authority, OITMA, has commenced the recruitment screening exercise for vacant positions in the agency. Our reporter, Damilola Daudu, who was at the OITMA headquarters, Sanyo Ibadan, has the details.
Oyo State Road Transport Management Authority has begun its 2024 recruitment screening exercise for shortlisted applicants in collaboration with the Civil Service Commission and the Ministry of Establishment. The screening exercise opened with the documentation and registration of candidates to verify the authenticity of the certificate submitted by the applicants. Candidates were subjected to tests of physical fitness, mental alertness, and psychological stability, through which only the best of the best will be selected. However, despite the huge numbers of applicants received, only 338 people will be selected out of 1,800 people who applied. In line with the Oyo State Road Traffic Management Authority law, the chairman, Otman, stated that the exercise will be transparent and follow strict adherence to the process of recruitment, and therefore will be thorough, and only those found to have satisfactorily fulfilled all requirements would be shortlisted. In a chat with BCOS News, the chairman, Otman, Major Adekoya Adeshagba, revealed that Governor of Oyo State, His Excellency Engineer Seyi Makinde, has graciously approved the recruitment of more personnel into the authority.
The first stage is registration and accreditation of the candidates. Thereafter, they move to the next, where they will be measured, but that is physical screening. From physical screening, they will move to medical screening. And thereafter, they move those that qualify from this stage on Wednesday and Thursday at Makola Barracks.
He further disclosed that the organization would only recruit the best candidates for its advertised positions. In his visit to the venue of the screening exercise, the executive chairman, Oyo State House of Assembly Service Commission, Dr. Abdulwasi Musa, applauded the Governor of Oyo State for the fair opportunity given to the members of the public in order to curb unemployment.
As a matter of fact, we will have to start by giving kudos to the Governor, His Excellency the Governor Seyi Makinde, for allowing for a fair opportunity for our children in Oyo State who are seeking to get employed into OTMA. And we have come to witness and have a first-hand information. And we have seen that everybody here, they are placed on this equal pedestal, so that at the end of the day, only those who are qualified and who merit it would be gainfully employed by OTMA.
Applicants would turn up for the exercise today, wore white shirts, white t-shirts, white socks, and white canvas. Damilola Daudu, BCOS News.
The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has predicted 3 days sunshine and thunderstorms from today till Wednesday across the country. NIMET Weather Outlook released on Sunday in Abuja forecasts sunny skies on Monday with patches of clouds over the northern region and chances of isolated thunderstorms over parts of Taraba State later in the day. In the afternoon to evening hours, isolated thunderstorms are anticipated over parts of Oyo, Ogun, Ondo, Imo, Abia, Edo, Ebonyi, Delta, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, and Bayelsa states. NIMET anticipated sunny skies on Tuesday, with patches of clouds over the northern region, with prospects of isolated thunderstorms over parts of Adamawa, Kaduna, Taraba states later in the day. NIMET anticipated thunderstorms over Imo, Enugu, Anambra, Ekiti, Ondo, Ogun, Edo, Ebonyi, Delta, Lagos, Rivers, Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River states later in the day. The agency urged the public to take adequate precaution as strong winds might precede the rains in the areas where the thunderstorms were likely to occur. NIMET advised airline operators to get updated weather reports and forecasts from NIMET for effective planning in their operations.
A 63-year-old woman, Chinyere Nkocha, has been arrested for operating a baby factory in Abia State. The National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, said the baby factory was uncovered by the Department of State Services DSS, Abia State Command. 10 victims were rescued from Umuokwa village, located in the Umuafai, Ndume, Ibeku area of Umuahia North Local Government, Abia State, where Nkocha, the victims, aged between 1 and 24, included 7 young girls, 6 of whom were pregnant, 1 lactating mother, and 2 boys who were minors, were arrested. NAPTIP said the suspects and the victims have been handed over to its Abia State Liaison Office for further investigation and appropriate action. The Director General of NAPTIP, Professor Fatima Waziri-Azi, expressed concern over the increasing incidences of the buying and selling of babies and the proliferation of baby factories across the country. She said the operators of the factory often lure people with promises of financial gain or false assurances of care and support. The Director General, while commending the Abia State Command of the DSS for the successful operation, urged the public, especially parents, to be vigilant and ensure that their words do not fall victim. She also encouraged communities to continue to collaborate with law enforcement agencies in combating the crime by reporting all cases of human trafficking to NAPTIP.
As the Students' Loan Portal opens on May 24, 2024, the Nigeria Education Loan Fund, NEL Fund, has disclosed that students of state-owned institutions will not be immediate beneficiaries, saying the scheme would take off with only students of federal government tertiary institutions. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the fund, Akintunde Sawyer, said this today at a pre-application sensitization press conference in Abuja, that only students whose institutions uploaded their data to the fund's dashboard would be qualified to benefit from the loan. He added that the loan would not be paid to the beneficiary account, explaining that the loan would be paid directly to the schools where the beneficiary students are studying. Sawyer, however, said certain stipends would be paid directly to beneficiaries on a monthly basis to assist them buy other things that can make them comfortable while pursuing their education.
Please be informed that the ongoing site relocation of DSTV Go TV in Lekki, Lagos, affected the presence of BCOS channel Go TV, among other channels. However, BCOS can still be received on StarTimes Bouquet channel 113 and on the terrestrial channel 28 UHF. Please bear with us, the fault is not from BCOS. The engineers of DSTV Go TV are working round the clock to fix the problem.
South Africa's top court ruled today that graft-tainted former president turned firebrand opposition challenger Jacob Zuma is ineligible to stand for parliament in next week's general election. The top court threw out Zuma's complaint against an electoral commission decision that a previous conviction for contempt prevents him from becoming an MP. ruling that the Constitution bars anyone sentenced to more than 12 months in jail. Zuma, who left office in 2018 dogged by corruption allegations, was convicted of contempt of court during a case in 2021 and sentenced to 15 months. He eventually served less than 3 months in jail, but the court ruled this remission irrelevant. After a South African general election, the president is chosen by the MPs from among their own ranks. So if Zuma is not on the ballot, he could not become president, even if his newly formed party is able to muster enough seats to propose him.
To end this edition of Newscope, here again are the main points. President Bola Tinubu has officially written to the National Assembly requesting a review of the Federal Capital Territory budget.
The detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, has claimed that he cannot be tried in any Nigerian court, citing the country's constitution and international laws. He said any court trying him is committing terrorism.
In line with the approval of the Oyo State Governor, Engineer Seyi Makinde, the State Road Transport Management Authority, OITMA, has commenced the recruitment screening exercise for vacant positions in the agency.
And South Africa's top court ruled today that graft-tainted former president turned firebrand opposition challenger, Jacob Zuma, is ineligible to stand for parliament in next week's general election.
And that's all from Newscope Desk. It was packaged by Bode Akinjola and delivered by
Oyebola Adishola. Thank you for listening.
We thank you for coming along with us. My name is Opeyemi Urimolade. Don't forget to tune in for the Yoruba version at 8 o'clock tonight.
wọ́ọ̀kù lọ́rọ̀ọ̀rùn pẹ̀sẹ̀ láti kéde nílé akéde tọ̀yọ́ ni ó nílò kó ṣe mọ́ dára rẹ̀ láàmú sọpọ̀ òun wọkọ̀ bọ̀ wá sílé akéde lóríta Basọ̀rún ìlú Ìbàdàn mọ́ pàápàá jùlọ láti ṣe ìkéde yẹn polówó ọjà yẹn tàbí fi ń tọ́tọ́ tó sì yẹ tó àwọn aráàlú létí bóyá nípa àpàdé nípa àsọjí àbí nǹkan kan àbómi ìtẹ́balẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣe ẹ torí agbègbè àgbáyé kẹ́ẹ̀nà tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe hàn wá 09158703300 lórí agbègbè kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ WhatsApp nọ́mbà ìkànnì náà mọ̀ ní ọ̀rọ̀rùn pẹ̀sẹ̀ stress-free courtesy BCOS. You don't have to stress yourself coming down to Ile Akede Orita Basọ̀rún Ìbàdàn again to make that announcement or place that advert. Book online, personal paid announcements, obituaries, or in memoriam, annual conventions, workshops, crusades, social diaries, inter-house sport competitions, musical shows or concerts, and other promotions. Very simple. Go online to book for transmission on BCOS radio channels or BCOS TV, or simply call 091 5870 3300 or WhatsApp on the same number 091 5870 3300. BCOS, a media giant in a class of its own.
gbé kó gbé bàtẹ rẹ kíákíá àní ẹ mọ́ pàtẹ ọjà ojú pópó mọ́ ọkọ̀ níjọba la títì ilẹ̀ fún ẹ jẹ́ kọ́kọ́ òrọ́nà lọ iṣẹ́ ọjà lèèyàn pàtẹ ọjà sí ẹ kó bá yín kúrò láyé ọ̀nà.
ọmọọba ṣé ò ní lọ síta kó lọ gbatẹ́gùn díẹ̀.
ọmọ tí rẹ mi.
ó dáná ṣì lọ síta kó lọ gbatẹ́gùn díẹ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ ọkọ mi pẹ̀lẹ́.
ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ṣé ẹ ò lérò pé yẹ kẹ́ ẹ gbé ọmọdé yìí lọ sí ilé ìwòsàn báyìí ikọ́ rẹ̀ yìí ti ń ka ọjọ́ púpọ̀ ó sì ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ru ó lè jẹ́ àìsàn ikọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ o.
ọlọ́run má jẹ́ ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kí n rírú ẹ̀ àádé yẹra báwo ló ṣe máa sọ nǹkan báyìí wípé ọmọ ọdún 5 ó ní ikọ́ ọ̀fẹ́.
ṣebí ẹ̀gbọ́n rẹ̀ ló ń gba ìtọ́jú fún àìsàn ikọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ báyìí ẹ lọ ṣe àyẹ̀wò kẹ́ ẹ lè mọ̀ dájú o.
àwọn ọmọdé náà lè ní àìsàn ikọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ tí wọ́n bá ti ní ìfarora pẹ̀lú ẹni tó ní àìsàn ikọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ ọ̀fẹ́ ní àyẹ̀wò àti ìtọ́jú àìsàn ikọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ ẹ pè nọ́mbà yìí 3340 tàbí *3340# fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Ìkéde yìí wá láti ọ̀dọ̀ àjọ tó ń mójútó ìlera tìjọba àpapọ̀ pẹ̀lú àtìlẹ́yìn àwọn èèyàn ilẹ̀ Amẹ́ríkà.
ará ilé wájà.